what's up? It's me, Eat More Spiders. Some people call me Marcel. That's the name my parents gave me. But yeah, so video 1 or 2, not sure which order I'm gonna upload these in, but wanted to do a little live drawing video where I kind of talk my way through drawing on one of the topics that people have recommended that I talk about. And today's topic is about how to stop, or I guess really comparing yourself to other people and what that means. So I guess it can be comparing yourself. Did I spell that right? I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna forget that I just did that. I can't spell very well. That's why I draw. But yeah, so today I'm gonna talk about basically comparing yourself to other people, some ways that you can stop comparing everything you do to other artists, and other ways you can feel a little bit more confident in your own work. And so it's really not going to be like a tutorial type thing. More so, I'm going to draw, I'm going to talk a little bit, and if you want to listen, do it, you know? It's a free something. Not many things are free. Doesn't matter. Whatever. To give you a little bit of background, right now I've got this drawing I did for Kaijun. So I've got this weird ostrich monster here that I'm going to be inking and maybe coloring depending on how long I have to talk and how many things I have to talk about. And I'm going into this one super fresh. I don't have many preconceptions about what I want to do ink-wise or color-wise or anything like that. So I guess we will work together over time and see what comes out of it. Yeah. So again, give you a little bit more background. I've got my sketchbook layer. I just took a picture of my sketchbook under here, and I'll be inking over it like I usually do, using like the standard pencil brush. And I think I'll be trying out something a little bit different and going with a thinner brush today. I'll get some of this extra stuff out of my way. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, so a question that comes up a lot in art, especially art and design and the whole creative profession, is the fact that a lot of people compare themselves to other people, which is totally normal because there's a lot of cool people making a lot of cool things out in the world. And with technology nowadays, you can see all of that constantly, you know? So Instagram is basically a hub of people sharing, creating their work. And as a consumer and an artist, it can get really easy to get trapped in that little bubble of, I'm constantly consuming art and looking at art. Is my work good enough? Will I ever be good enough? And so forth. And to give you a little bit of background on myself, for a long time, I wasn't creating any art because of this exact same reason. I was always thinking that, well, someone else is better than me. Does it matter if I make anything? Why would anyone care if I do make anything? What's the point, really? Because there are so many people doing much cooler things than me at the time. But it took a long time and a lot of working through that, being super stubborn in a way against that idea. Because yeah, there's so many people making so many cool stuff out there, but who cares, you know? There's always going to be somebody that's better than you, someone you can look up to. And I think a big way that you can overcome that or move past that is by changing how you look at situations like that. So I know for me personally, for a long time, again, I wasn't making art because I was comparing myself to other people. But then maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started looking at it a little bit differently. I found a few of my favorite artists online, one of which being Christian Ortiz and Mako Vice. I'll drop their Instagrams below somewhere. This is a bit laggy. But I found their work, and then I started to think less of, well, they're making such cool things. What's the point if I make it? If I make anything? And I started to think more, they're making cool things. I would like to be somebody that other people look at as a person that makes cool things too. So that began a kind of transition period for me where instead of comparing myself negatively to people, I thought to myself, how can I get that good? Or how can I incorporate some of what they do into my current work? And I think that really helped me just develop as an artist. And just that little mindset shift can help a lot. Because when you're comparing it's normal to compare yourself to people. It's 100% natural to do that. I think we as humans, we just tend to do that for a lot of different areas, be it like our looks, grades in school, how many people like you or how many friends you have. Like, it's natural. But I think in the creative field, where sometimes our work can feel really volatile, how you look at other people's work can really either help or deter you from creating really cool stuff. You know? So, and even now, I feel bad sometimes when I see work and I get in a rut, which is natural, you know? Sometimes when you're in a rut and you feel like you can't really make anything cool, seeing other people's cool stuff can feel discouraging. Or when you're in that rut, sometimes it can feel really good to see something new and refreshing. I think finding that balance is really based on the person. But kind of lost my train of thought there. I was rambling, whatever. But yeah, you know, it's super easy to compare yourself to other people. But also, who cares, you know? All those people that you look up to right now, there are dozens of thousands of people that are better than them right now, you know? If your favorite artist right now had looked at, I'm going to use like super basic history artist people, but if they had looked at Michelangelo or whatever, and they had said, oh, that's too cool, I'll never make anything as good as that, what's the point? Then you wouldn't have the chance to experience the incredible things that other people are making, you know? So again, looking at other people's work can stop you from creating, but I think that's probably the worst way to take in someone else's creative work. So in short, I guess it's like, I think that a mindset shift over time can help that idea. Like, none of that happens in a day. That can happen over days or weeks or years. For me, it was years, you know? I was feeling that kind of hopelessness about art for a couple years, which is why I really started focusing on my art maybe 2 years ago, even though I've been an artist and I've been drawing and I've been enjoying creative work basically all of my life. Finishing up this line here. But yeah, creative work is wild and weird, and if you compare yourself to other people, it can suck, or it can feel really good. Right now, I look towards a lot of really dope artists. Just being on Instagram, being in the network, in the know, and meeting so many cool people, I've had the opportunity to just like come across so many amazing veins of work and so many people doing things weird and making weird, wonderful stuff. And it's been cool, you know? So while, again, sometimes I do fall into that pit of like, what's the point? Other times it's like, that's dope. I'd like to be that dope someday. And, you know, maybe that advice feels kind of half-assed or whatever, but it's how I feel about it. And also, like, yeah, people are making cooler stuff than you, but who gives a shit, you know? Does it matter? While we make our work and we share it and other people take it in and experience it, ultimately your creative work is personal, you know? No one else can sit there with the pen in your hand for you and create to the same extent that you can. So when you sit down to commit pen to paper or written word to book or lyric or whatever, you know, does it matter what other people are making? And maybe there isn't a right answer to that. Maybe maybe it does matter to some people. To me personally, it doesn't matter, just because my art to me is personal. It's what I do to add some sort of validation. And sorry, my screen is like, it does this thing where if you put more than 3 fingers on the screen, it like switches presentation modes. So I'm sorry if that's annoying. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my work to me is super personal. So when I'm creating it, yes, I do tend to compare myself to other people, but ultimately, in the end, nothing matters more about your art than yourself in relationship to it. Like, who do you make for? Why do you create? Which can be kind of a loaded question, but I don't know, those are some questions you can probably ask yourself about comparing yourself to other people. This mouth is coming out cool. I think maybe I'll throw a tongue back there too. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and going in super rough with this one, Just gonna let it take form with itself. The inspiration for this one too was like, I was drawing a lot of dragons. I did the thing again. I was drawing a lot of dragons, and I was telling myself like, you're drawing too many dragons. Draw something new. So I drew this weird ostrich thing, like I would a dragon, and then just kept distorting it and making it weird until it felt new. Which is, kind of what art is. Mixing things you see and experience to get something new, which is cool. What I'm really excited for on this one, though... Oh, that line was messy. What I'm really excited for on this one is going to be the coloring. Jesus. Because I want to do a little bit of cell shading on this one. I don't know, I'm getting such messy lines here. I think my computer's conking out a little bit, but yeah. If I can really see my computer being slow here. Well, yeah, those are my general thoughts on comparing yourself to other people, which I know is a supernatural art creator vice, because I think also there are a lot of ways that comparing yourself to other people can be a good thing. How will you know that there's room for you to grow if you don't see what's next? If you don't see what's, I don't want to say above you, but if you don't experience the ways that your work can be better through other people and other people's work, then how will you ever know where you can go from there, So maybe that means it's good to take some time to immerse yourself in the work of other people. Even if it makes you feel really bad, what are you going to do with that feeling of insufficiency maybe? Like, yeah, you could feel bad about it and not make anything, which a lot of people do feel. Or you could feel bad about it and then make much cooler stuff until you're at that level. And then once you get to that level, maybe you look up to new people, maybe you get better from there. Because that's what progression is in art. You see something cooler and you want to do that, Fix this line. If no one was pushing you and you weren't seeing cooler things to recreate or reinterpret, then, what are you making? This belt is gonna be a pain. these weird knot belts are some of my favorite belts to draw on things like this. I actually got the idea of this from two places. One was from Sasuke from Naruto, and that really cool blue rope thing that he has tied around himself. I don't know why he does it. And there are also a bunch of Japanese wood prints that feature things like this. So these like knotted up belts that hold sashes and swords and stuff, which is super cool because you can take them and then distort them. You can make them different colors. You know, vary the weight of it. How thin is it? Which I guess sounds pretty nerdy. Getting excited over rope belts, but I think it's cool. Things like this, to me, really pull drawings together. You know, maybe in the future, people don't want videos that are me doing live drawings or real-time drawings. I can also do the drawings, speed it up into a time lapse, and then do the talking over it, just so that it goes a little bit faster. If you have thoughts on that, drop a comment. You know, do it up. I'm excited to hear it. I'll read what you say. And if I don't read what you say, I'm sorry. No, I'll read it. Cool. All right, getting on to the cooler parts of this one. So I got like the body and the base of the head done. Some of my favorite parts or favorite things to draw on something like this are the hands and the claws. Just because I think there's so much overlap that you don't realize in monsters with human anatomy until you get like a good understanding of human anatomy and monsters, you know? Lower this a little bit. So when you start to get, you know, the bits of a human that make a human when you draw them, I said human a lot right there, then it's really easy to start applying that to monsters and ghouls and, I don't know, devils or whatever. And I know one thing that I really want to do at some point is make a whole video on understanding form and, what's that word, anatomy and position and stuff like that. Because I 100% believe that once you understand human anatomy and human form, then getting to the point where you can apply that to other creatures or drawings or perspectives will make you a much better drawer, if that's a word. You know, I'm an adult right now, and I'm an adult that's been drawing for a while, and I don't know what the professional word for a person that draws is, you know? Because I don't think drawer is a word, and I don't think anyone knows. So if you know, I would love to know. You know, because maybe everyone else knows and I don't, and it's just something I missed out on for a while. And if it is, I guess that's fine, but I'd like to know. I want to be it. I want to be cool. Yeah, so this is a cool hand, you know? It's like drawing a person's hand, but like a little bit stubbier and with claws. Which is kind of how I draw all of my hands anyway. Because hands with claws on it are just cooler hands, you know? Regular fingernails are also really hard to draw for some reason. They've got like little nuances to them. Jesus. Little nuances to them that like make them either realistic or just realistic enough to get by. And I feel like you can always tell when it's just realistic enough to get by. Second favorite part is the feet. Oh, a little bit here. A little bit of a bump. Yeah, my pen is lagging really hard right now. I think it's a streaming software that I've got running. Even though I'm looking at it in my other monitor and saying that we're not losing any frames, which is good. Because the first two videos I recorded, I watched them over and we were losing like half of the frames in the drawing. So there were just long periods of time without the screen moving, and then a line would pop up. Kind of like what's happening here now, I guess, but I'm talking like 3-4 seconds of empty screen, or like no movement, and then a line would pop up, which sucked. It took a lot of time to fidget and get those settings ready. Boom. Add some more claws. Yeah, I think I talked about the air quotes topic I went into this video talking about. If I think about anything more on that, then I'll just randomly say it. I think that's the format I'd like these videos to be. You know, like if you're interested and you're down, come hang out with me. We'll draw some stuff and we'll talk about everything and nothing. Usually I'll be eating a snack because I usually eat a snack when I draw. Some people think that's weird, you know? Like, what's weird about it, you know? I like to draw, I like to sit down, eat a snack, you know? Keep my fuel up, keep my energy going. Nothing weird about that. If you think that's weird, that's on you. That's not my problem. I'm just in it for the snacks. So over here I'm going to draw the leg first, and then I'm going to make another layer to draw this claw. Just because I don't want to have to like work around that claw to make these feet. You know, it'll just make my lines seem a little bit too discombobulated, and I'm not into that. Something I will have to do though is figure out how I can fix this this stuttering line. If anyone else here streams drawing or like records drawing, other than people that use Procreate, because I know there's like a program in that records it automatically, drop a message. Let me know good settings you found and good ways to stream drawing, because I've been having kind of a lot of trouble to start out with. You know, so if you've got any tips, I'd love to hear them. I'm open to tips. I'm a cool guy. You're a cool person. Maybe. I hope so. Let's draw stuff together. Alright, is that all for this layer that I have? Yeah, alright, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up another layer. Bam. Close that up. Close. Yeah, cool. Open up another layer, and I'm going to draw the bits that lay over that first layer. I'm actually going to lower the opacity a bit on that. Just so I can see it better. Cool. And then I'll go back and erase whatever I don't want. Let me just make sure I'm in the right layer. Yeah, cool. I do that thing a lot where I like draw in the wrong layer, which I know is super common in digital art, but after drawing digitally for so long, you think you get the handle of that a little bit better. Alright. And I think I am going to speed up this next part of the video just so that I can finish up the line work and talk through some of the coloring. And we're not making this video like an hour long or something. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Alright, and so I'm back here. I finished up most of the line work. I'm just going to delete a little bit of the line work underneath my top layer over here. That's the pen tool. I'm still getting a little bit of lag on the pen tool, which I'm hoping doesn't translate in the final video. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know? And I'm going to raise the opacity back up here. Move this. And merge down. Cool. So we've got the inking of most of this done. I'm actually going to raise this arm. I think this arm is a little too low. So I'm going to raise that now. And that's as simple as like erasing a bunch of these lines, redrawing new lines, which is most of what I do all day, every day. Another tough part about digital art, I think, is getting your hardware right, you know? Sometimes a good computer is really necessary for the drawing experience, maybe, even though if you persevere enough, you can get through whatever. But for a while I was working on the Wacom tablet, which is it's like a physical tablet that you connect to your computer, so you're not drawing on the display itself. So, and that was alright. It was really good. Didn't hog up that much memory on my computer. Didn't slow things down that much, but it was hard to get clear, concise lines. Whereas with this, I have the Surface Pro now. I can get the lines super clear cut, super precise, but I do experience some lag just because of the increase in quality. You know, so there's a trade-off. Unless you go super high quality and get a computer with a lot of RAM and a good CPU, I guess. Usually it's not this laggy. I think it's in part because I'm trying to record it with the software that I have, which is eating up most of my CPU. Cool. So I think that is how I want to leave the line work. You know, I think that's good. Fix that up there. And then I'll go into it a little bit after and color it, shade it. So I think that's this video, you know, got together, talked for a little bit. In the next video, I'll come back and I will color it up.